Yo guys, it's Coach xblademojo and today I'm gonna show you the best Kassadin laning phase guide that ever got published. Of course, let me know in the comments how you will like it and enjoy the video. On the screen you can see what you will learn, but I can just reassure you, you will be so much better Kassadin player with the understanding of your exact mindset for this laning phase, trading patterns, roam timers, recalls, and all of the milestones that you need to actually be consistent. People are paying me to teach them those concepts, so please use it well and have fun with that knowledge. In case you wonder if you should learn from me or listen to me, I'm a full-time coach, doing it every day, coaching all roles. I'm passionate about the Kassadin champion and got decent ranks with it. And additionally, I made the biggest mobile guide on Kassadin in Word, so enjoy. Quick introduction to the presentation. Basically, as you guys know, Kassadin and playing Kassadin is a love and hate relationship. And I think we both can agree because we're gonna be really masochistic, we're gonna be poked, we won't be able to leave the turret sometimes, but in the end we always come back to this drag, which is the Kassadin champion. And this guide is meant to improve that gameplay and make you even more happy with the champ. Champion mindset on laning phase. Should we be a monk mental or airline Kassadin player? Basically, till the level 6 we wanna prioritize farming, using our spells efficiently to secure the CS or to prevent the enemy from hitting you by using the Null Sphere to block the magic damage. So you don't use your spells to poke the guys, most of the cases, you use them to secure that CS because your champion is a scaling champion, so the more gold you can get out of the lane, the sooner you will speed up the process of getting to that strong items that will elevate your chance of snowballing and winning the game. So basically, focus on the farming, be patient, adapt, because the lanes are not gonna be easy. And from the level 6, we can start considering being more aggressive, contesting, heavy trades. Basically, pure Bear Grylls mindset. I think that's how we pronounce his name in English. Sustain concept. That's actually pretty interesting one. Your health is your currency or currency. So basically, you wanna secure as much CS as you can from the early game. Many Kassadin players are afraid to lose health, but you as a scaling champion, it's completely okay approach to sacrifice your health to get that gold so you can get to your better items faster. That's basically the mindset. Of course, if you play versus Tristana or Akshan, you will need to respect more and you won't be able to walk up to the ranged minion, which is 14 gold, and lose half health. In the end, you have to be rational, right? But I just often notice you guys are too afraid. You have your teleport to teleport back relatively soon into the early game to help you go through that early game while at the same time being efficient. If you stay on the lane, being full health 2 potions, and you lose half of the CS, but you get all of the XP, that's not really the worth deal. Yeah? So think about your health as a currency that you spend on improving your efficiency and speeding up the scaling process. I often notice you guys stay behind the wave, wait for them to push, but understand, even if you start W or Q, you can walk up to that wave as long as opponent is not AD champion, and you can contest that wave a little bit. This way you're not gonna get crushed level 1 on yourself, and losing a little bit of health is completely natural. Even better, with Second Wind and Doran Shield. With a Dark Seal or Doran Ring and no sustain would be a little bit different, yeah? But just as an example, losing health like this with certain circumstances is really natural thing, as long as you secure the CS, yeah? Quick reminder guys, most of the people that are watching this video are non-subscribers, so I would really appreciate the support, because if we think about it, the video would have 5,000 views and 50% of the people would subscribe, then it makes my channel 50% just bigger automatically. So if you guys like so far what I'm doing, consider subscribing and pressing notification bell button. I really would appreciate. Starting abilities. Here, after each of the ability, I will show you the video so you can understand better what I mean. Null Sphere is generally really consistent level 1 start, because if you play especially versus champions that have a lot of damage level 1 and can threaten you, zone you out, it's not that consistent to walk up to lose half of the health for each minion or just lose the traits, right? So you get that Q to last hit the wave. You can potentially pull it, because if you Q on the guy, minions draw aggro to you, so you can drag them closer to yourself. And generally, that will just ensure you don't lose much health on the lane. So Null Sphere pretty consistent, but once you will see comparison of the Nether Blade and the Force Pulse, you will understand how you to choose better between them. Standard example. When you approach the wave, you Q always into the incoming enemy ability. This way you ensure the lane consistency, and you will repeat it multiple times through the lane. So you Q to rather block the damage or to last hit the minion if you're gonna get zoned out by the opponent, yeah? So that's the first concept with the Q. Second concept is pretty standard. When opponent is threatening you, you don't walk up, you do the Q, and you secure the SES. But I didn't in this video. Third example, wave pulling. You Q the guy, you let the minions follow you, you drag them behind your wave, and it's relatively easier to secure that wave without getting chunked by opponent. This one is actually pretty interesting, because with the Nether Blade, there is one technique. You can get second wind and the Doran shield, and versus ranged matchups that are ability power, so mages, you can start W to contest the wave from the level 1, which gives you a lot of push power, response to the opponent push. This way you won't end up level 1 under the turret. And that's what I know most of the people don't know about, and should keep in mind. There is gonna be video. Yo guys, if you wanna elevate your Kassadin skills, then Riftschool is for you. It's gonna be a format of group sessions, 1 hour a week for the 3 weeks. I'm gonna be teaching you everything about the early game that you can imagine, mid game and the late game, with ton of the presentations and ton of the videos to make sure you understood everything properly. As well, there is gonna be time for the questions. For more information, check the link below in description, or shoot me a message on the Discord. You're definitely not gonna regret it. So guys, see ya and enjoy the video. W start example. Walk up to the wave instantly, make sure you have second wind and Doran shield, start approaching as much as you can. This way you implement the pressure on the wave, so opponent can't focus you and the wave at the same time. You have to choose one. This way you will lose some health, but at the same time you will ensure the wave won't be level 1 under your turret, which ensures the consistency. Usually they poke even more. This Syndra is pretty bad, but as you can see, I'm getting the damage, but I'm not afraid. That's why you have this sustain for. And remember, the lower you are, the more Doran shield will heal you. So you shouldn't waste the potion too fast if they cannot kill you. And thanks to it, here I am, warding early, but I'm ensuring the wave is on this state as level 2 Kassadin, which is pretty comfy. But make sure you don't overpush. Don't overpush. Just make sure they don't crash to you, but not that you push into them. That's the concept. The other standard option of starting W level 1 is when we face melee champions. Usually these are the AP champions like Katarina, could be Kiana, can be Silas, and contesting them from the level 1 for more aggressive, high risk, high reward playstyle for early snowball. These are the 2 reasons that you can start the W Nether Blade for, and the video. W start example to have more pressure on the lane. Whenever the opponent wants to approach, you will be looking to do auto W or just W, because sometimes when you press auto attack, they will go away from your Nether Blade range. So this is how I'm zoning the Kiana level 1 and winning the lane, thanks to this technique. Yeah, so this is the pure example. That's how you will be blading versus Katarina, Kiana, Silas. Silas is okay too, but make sure you need to dodge his second chain to win actually that level 1 trait. For the force pulls, there is one reason mostly. When they are good players, they don't like to push that early into you. That can be Yasuo, Yoni, sometimes even Katarinas. They don't want to push those 3 first millis of the first wave too early, so they wait. And if they're gonna wait, it's really hard for you to secure the 3 minions at the same time, and you can get a little bit chunked, especially versus Yasuo and Yoni. So you take that E to secure the 3 minions at the same time, and then you chill. This way you prevent the situation when you would lose too much health. Even versus 13 ranged matchups, let's say there is Akshan, or like champion that deals a lot of damage like Tristana, and they just wait with maximum last hit to get 3 at the same time, you can get E. So this way you just boom, with the E on the max range, walk back, all is good. That's the basically concept behind the level 1 E start. Example, Yasuo is not pushing, waiting for the minions to die 3 at the same time. You will get the E in this moment, and you want to secure 3 of the CS and back up. The difference here is this Yasuo is actually really good because he started E, which is kind of out of the pattern. Big respect for the guy, but I believe you get what I mean, right? This is the exact moment. They wait, you secure 3, you walk back so you don't get chunked too much. Playstyles versus melee and ranged. Here we have to focus and point it out point by point. Versus ranged, till level 6, you use your Q to prevent their magic damage, so you Q rather the minion to get a shield when the spell flies at you, or you Q them to block the magic damage. So we use Q to last hit or to block the magic damage. We accordingly adjust to our position, which is gonna be on the future slide. And it's purely about prioritizing farming until you get that level 6, and then we can start contesting the traits. And that's how the most matchups of the rangeds will be like. Versus melee, it's a bit different. Kind of mindset is the same. My cat was about to jump somewhere. Kind of mindset is the same, but here you have to you don't want to push into them early. Just be careful, okay? Because if you push too deep into them, then it can end up pretty bad for you because they will zone you out from the wave and potentially kill you, especially AD melees. So we let them push into us, we play safe till the level 6, and then we can start contesting quick trades with them. Versus certain matchups like Sylas and few others, you can start W and contest them even more aggressive. Usually it's versus AP melee, not AD melee, okay? So it's pretty same, just taking it chill, farm, try to keep your wave in the safe zone, but don't push too much into them unless it's AP melee. Then you can try, but wards. But mostly the game starts from the level 6, yeah? And versus melees, you can try to poke them out with your E sometimes, but please make sure that you don't poke the wave too much at the same time when you poke them, because that will only cause the wave to push into them harder, and that's not what you would like. Quick advertisement, guys, on my Patreon for only $4 you get full access to all coachings, including Kassadin and all roles. So consider it because it's really worth it. Thank you. Laning position, I wanna cover with you in a really simple concept. I call it chessboard. On the laning, there is gonna be always a square that you would like you to imagine. The point is, when you approach the CS in early game, we of course assume you are the weaker one, especially versus Draven mid, right? In this scenario, you never approach from the face-to-face position. So, if Kassadin would be here, he doesn't want to approach there. Why? Or there? Because that is the closest to the line and the chessboard of the Draven where he can chunk him. So you always approach and try to approach from the opposite, which doesn't give the Draven pum 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 on you. Because if you do from anywhere here, your position, right? Then he's closer to the pum 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 on you. Basically, try to be vertically opposite. Don't be face to face on the square. Yeah, with the squares on each other. That's basically the lane position concepts that you should adjust dynamically depending on opponent's position. And those squares are just a measurement to help you imagine that better. If Draven is here, you might get chunked, switch left, right? That's basically just vertical positioning is the main starting point to understand better how you actually position on the lane. Respecting level 2, extremely essential moment for the Kassadin players. Guys, please remember the level 2 for your opponent and for you is the first minion of the second wave after you completely killed the first wave. Why I'm saying it is because if you will forget about it and lose half of the health by being punished by the opponent on that level 2 window, your lane will automatically be worse and you will need to TP faster to the lane. So for us Kassadin players who need to manage health really good, really just better, this concept is extremely important. Keep that in mind, please. That's extremely important milestone. Example of not respecting level 1. This is a first wave. The second wave will come in a moment. The second wave is here. Now, first minion of my blue minions is a level 2 for Agragas. And watch how I'll get punished. He getting it before me, he chunks me, and it could end up even worse. So always just keep eye on this 1 milli of your second wave, because it's gonna be rather you having level 2 or him. Usually one of you will have it before each other, right? So really important. First recall can be pretty rough, depending on the ranked, how good are the players. Basically, usually if you could get a recall without using teleport, that's the best you can get. But that's pretty dream case scenario for a Kassadin. The worst that can happen is when the guys will push into you and then make the wave bounce back into them. They will pull it from your turret and stop pushing. That's when you will become really vulnerable to getting ganked. And usually you need to call the jungler to help you or stay in XP range and don't walk up at all. You will see the video in a moment, but generally my point is if you can somehow set up a recall with the help of your jungler by crashing the wave together without using TP, it's okay. But most of the cases you will still need to teleport back to the lane because your wave will be in a relatively worse spot most of the time on the laning. So first recall, optimally if you can do it without TP because you crash the wave, that's perfect dream scenario, but mostly you will need to teleport. The worst that can happen to you is they pull the wave and you are zoned from the wave and you might be vulnerable to getting ganked. Perfect example where Yasuo pushed first 2 waves and now he stops to push. What will happen is the wave will bounce back into me, he will constantly contest me and he won't let me walk up close to the wave at all. Is there a counterplay early game? Not really. You can ask your jungler to cover you, you can put a ward, but even if you go walk too close to the guy, he will instantly jump at you and win against you. Why? Because he's AD champion. If it would be Sylas right now, you'd have a more chance. Versus AP mages, AP champs melee, you have a chance to contest this wave. Sometimes even versus AP rangeds. But versus AD champs, if it's Irelia Yasuo, nothing you can do. You can just ask your jungler or wait and soak the XP because there is no counterplay. Realistically, there is no counterplay. You can just keep pinging to show off and be patient. Otherwise, you will lose. And yeah, he just gotten me. Even though I'm staying here, as you can see, it wasn't enough. I made a mistake and I'm forced to recall. Then I TP back and I have to work on fixing my wave, which is still a struggle. I think you guys already understand what I mean. The real hell for a Kassadin players. Trading patterns, basically the cheat code, the blueprint to trading patterns. How it's gonna be, it's pretty simple. Versus rangeds, we have a one combo to make consistent trades while being safe at the same time. Your Riftwalk is gonna be used as a gap closer to get to the E and Q range. So you use Riftwalk, EQ, poke them, walk back, and you repeat until they are low enough, and then you can reconsider Riftwalking in. Versus melee, it's a bit from the opposite direction. You can walk up, EQ, max range on them, Riftwalk away if they come back to you. If they come to you or wanna threaten you. You will see the video to understand better. Perfect example of a trade with a gap closer are behind or in front of your wave. If behind, then you could potentially block RE charm or any incoming skill shot. You walk back and then you repeat when you have a moment again. Make sure you don't lose CS during the process. Yeah, so that's how you slowly trade with the guys. If you're a relatively stronger champion, then you can even consider to contest full in depending on the matchup with your Riftok. Few examples against Yoni. So when they have most important spell, you have to Riftok it away, then you can respond with a quick trade and walk back. The problem versus auto attack champions is they can still melt you relatively insane, but otherwise the regular trade is you do EQ and you don't walk up melee. Then you rather walk away or R back. The melee versus auto attack champs really dangerous versus AD assassins if they have cooldowns better. So the rule is simply you can't Riftok in until you can kill them. The second example, Yoni will waste his tornado, so now he doesn't have it. We do R gap closer EQ combo, walk away before he gets the tornado or gap closer into you. Yeah, so basically the rule is you need to track their spells really well to know if you can even Riftok for a gap close or if you should keep your Riftok for a disengage. That's it. About the full combos, is kind of similar, but full combos mean you can use your Riftok. Basically, remember your auto attack followed by the W will cancel the auto attack animation, so you get more damage in. So optimally, you approach the guy, let's say you slow them, you do auto, Nether Blade, for and Q, then you Riftok in or away. The first combo means, let's say if it's Yasuo or Yoni, you usually can't R in on them. You can do the most of the spells, but you cannot R in. So you Riftok away, finish the trade. If they are low enough, you can Riftok. If they have no cooldowns, let's say Kiana is out of the complete spell rotation, but she's burst champion, you can R on her. She has no damage on you. So basically you're allowed to Riftok in when they are certain circumstances, rather cooldowns, they are too weak, they have no damage, or they are too low. Yeah, because otherwise the main combo is you just Riftok in, slow them down, auto W, and keep the Q in the end or a little bit faster to prevent the damage or to secure the kill. And that's basically the full combos, guys. The main concept is around your Riftok usage depending on the circumstances. First example versus approaching Vladimir. So he's level 9, I'm level 11, huge advantage. Can do full combo. Here I remember I didn't press auto attack before my W. But as you see, there is not much to think about. It's realistically about what's the gold difference, what are your levels, what kind of spell kit they got, can they threaten you after the Riftok. Usually trading with mages is so much easier than with the melee AD champions or generally melee champions in terms of the trading patterns. Second example versus Orianna. Main concept, trading patterns. If she uses QW on me, my Riftok is one on the 4 seconds cooldown, which gives me advantage, right? So when she approaches, knowing that we have damage reduction from the magic, we can keep contesting the quick trades with the guys, because usually your spells will be coming up faster than the opponent. So if you have the range and space to go on them, you will win this, but you just cannot get kited by them. So here that was a good example of a limit, playing on the limits around the spell cooldowns on Orianna, right? So that's why I won the trade. Example of the side lane. Level 11, she just used the Q, I'm going in. They have the champions that have certain amount of burst, they have no cooldowns after at some point, but you having this ult and everything faster makes it so much easier to actually out damage them because of the R cooldown, as I told you. And that was the example of the R flash. You need to practice it. It's important. Most of you most likely know. If you don't know, R flash must have to know. Same as E flash, R flash on practice tool. First you press R, then flash, then you press E flash in different circumstances to surprise the opponent. Roaming and recalling. This is gonna be, with my method, extremely simple. Basically, there are few indicators for a good roam and the recall. How good is your wave clear? What is the wave type, if it's canon or not? And what time between the wave you got to actually consider that roam timer or recall. There is gonna be video. I will do it in a coaching type so you can understand on example within 2 minutes. How you roam is pretty simple rule. So basically the faster way you can shove into the opponent, the more time you have after that. So let's see, I'm gonna push, right? And now the next indicator is the wave is here. So this is now your time between the wave to do the proactive decision. That can be recall if you have enough gold, or that can be rotation, ward, clearing vision, anything you ever think of. Gotta question yourself. So now, make sure you know if it's a cannon or not. Every third wave is a cannon, so the rotation here after second wave, when cannon is approaching, is giving you the most time. So now I'm using the time between the wave because already my wave clear is good to rotate to the bot side. Normally I would make it in time to catch the wave, but Vigo shove the mid lane. But that's the example. The faster you shove and the closer the wave to the nexus, the more time to question yourself depending on the scoreboard, map awareness, your gold and health, to think what is the best decision to make on the map. Okay, we gotta cover roaming pathings. So let's say you're Kassadin here and you have the priority. Your bot lane have the prior too. You wanna dive. How you rotate for a dive is usually you start aura cleansing from there on, you jump here and you either go like this or cross like this if they are slightly below. That's high priority pathing on the bot side. The other pathing on the top lane is normally you go like this. Of course, you aura cleanse to check if you are on the ward. And then if you dive, you cross like this. If you want to surprise the guy, you can rift walk here or rift walk here depending on the position that he is right now. If you want to cover the dive, because your teammates are going to get dove on the bot side, what you do, you usually can just do like this. And now you can rather cover from there, surprise them from there, or you go like this and you rather just cross like this or like this. Yeah, the standard gank is kind of typical. What you can do is simply you walk like this and you can surprise them from there or from there. High priority, as I showed you before, is this rift walk. Anti-dive are these rift walks to cover your teammates. Yeah, top side cover, I mean, pretty simple, not much to think about. Top side, trying to kill top side, you can rather do surprise like this, or simply you can do this into this surprise, so you avoid the vision on the river. A lot is about how you can skip the certain places on the river so they won't see you. Aura cleanse at some point is important because that will ensure if the rotation makes sense or if it doesn't. Yeah, so that's how we rotate. One more important concept. Roaming and recalling as well doesn't mean you have to shove the wave. It's as well about how fast will opponent push into you, and the sooner you can receive that wave, it's the same rule. The wave is here, that can be considered rather recall or roaming. Yes, one of these. That's the same. So there is rather pushing or receiving. Rotation versus recall works on the same rule. If you stayed till this point, I really appreciate. Just wanted to make a quick advertisement. On my Patreon, for $4, you can get access to a ton of my coachings, including Kassadin and other roles. On one-on-one coaching, you can get individual session with me where we would elevate your skills. And I'm hosting, as you probably heard at the beginning of the video, Kassadin classes for only $10, which is one of the best deals that I ever made. For any questions, please hit me up on the Discord. My name is xblademojo. All links you can find to everything that is on the screen, below the video, and in the comments. Thank you. One more time, if you guys like the video, consider subscribing, notifying, pressing notification button, and there are a few videos that you might like. The wave management video, fixing metal to start climbing, and must know Kassadin. Video for the wave management is one of my pieces that I made manually with myself, everything, and I consider it kind of underrated with because it looks really well in 5 minutes of the pure knowledge. Same as the fixing mental to start climbing. Kind of sad that it's only 700 viewers, but the real talk is legit. So thank you guys. See you next videos, waiting for your comments.
I want to take a second to recommend working with xblademojo, who's been a terrific coach.
I've worked with a lot of coaches over the years. XBlade is far and away one of the best.
Thanks for teaching me so much, Roy.